What I'd like to begin with is the fact that I've spoken many times to our community that that holidays are spiritual portals, portals that allow us to embody the spiritual principles behind the holiday. This is for all holidays on the planet. Through meditation, Spirit informed me of this. So, in this life, my beloveds, we must see with the eyes behind the eyes. We must hear with the ears behind the ears. And we must intuit through our third eye. We have to allow ourselves to see from a spiritual perspective by using our spiritual senses, because nothing is simply as it appears to be. And as truth students and metaphysicians, we must look and see deeper and higher. So I have always, my father taught Greek and mathematics when my parents were teachers for the UN in Kinshasa, Africa. I lived there as a little girl. My mother was a French teacher, and my dad loved history, especially being rooted and grounded in the Greek language and Greek philosophy. So the founding fathers of this country actually were rooted in the Stoicism and the logic of Greek philosophy. They were also very, very influenced by John Locke, who began to write about personal freedom and liberation. Now, we all know the historical context of when our American Revolution happened, the French Revolution, and there were many, many, many revolutions that occurred on the planet. These men were not perfect. Many of them had archaic ideas of slavery or misogyny. However, they were the first on the planet that began to download the divine ideas of freedom for humanity and personal liberation. Spirit always must begin somewhere. Spirit must begin somewhere. And these men were the ones who began to hold, through spiritual download, began to hold this idea that all of humanity could be free. And it was an enormous leap for them to hold the idea that that men outside of aristocracy could be free, that the average merchant, that the average skilled laborer, male, could be free. That was a radical idea. So spirit had to begin somewhere. And I believe that the Declaration of Independence is a spiritual text, that underneath it, if we look with our spiritual eyes, we will see that these men downloaded the universal truth that we are all liberated souls that have a right to create our reality and to live freely as we desire on this planet when we are incarnated here. These points are so significant because we no longer, as truth students, read the happenings and the historical occurrences or the current events of this world from the mundane ego mind. We see the higher reality behind events and circumstances. We must, my beloveds, we must begin to hold this perspective so that we are not thrown back and forth on the waves and the storms of these events, being mind controlled by powers that be. We take our control back and we align with the Most High. always, always living from the higher perspective, or at least practicing this, this skill set. So, my beloveds, the 4th of July, what a magnificent spiritual event that we can look to. So, as we celebrate the 4th of July weekend, let us delve into the metaphysical and esoteric meaning of the celebration. So, beyond the fireworks and parades, this day is a profound reminder of spiritual freedom and personal liberation. So, first, the essence of spiritual freedom. What is it? Number one, the liberation of the soul. Just as the 4th of July signifies national independence, it also symbolizes the liberation of the soul from the chains of ignorance, ego mind, and materialism. We are not these bodies. We are not our circumstances. And we no longer abide by believing we are flesh and blood that can be controlled or upset by what is happening on the political stage or the financial stage or the cultural stage of society. We recognize that we are ageless, timeless beings connected to the greatest power in the universe, our source, infinite intelligence. So, spiritual freedom is about realizing our true nature, which is beyond physical limitations and societal constructs. I have never simply accepted that I am a Black woman that was born in Haiti. I know I chose this identity for a higher purpose, but it is not the truth about me. I am beyond my gender. I am beyond my race. I am beyond my circumstances. I am an unlimited soul, and each and every one of us is as well. And this is true spiritual freedom, the recognition of these divine principles, awakening to higher consciousness. This day or this time of year serves as a call to awaken to a higher state of consciousness where we recognize our unity with the divine and all of creation. It encourages us to break free from the illusions of separation and duality, embracing the oneness of existence. We are all aristocrats. We are all princes and kings and queens. We are all lords and ladies. We are the perfect divine children of the Most High, no lesser or greater than anyone else. It's to know this truth. And this is what the founding fathers were downloading in consciousness, that we are equal because we are the divine children of God, endowed and blessed with the pursuit of happiness. We can have all that we desire, and we must embody and know the truth that we create our reality. We are responsible for our happiness. We are responsible for our liberation and our freedom. The third principle in the essence of spiritual freedom is that we must embrace inner sovereignty. True independence is found within through the sovereignty of our inner self. This is about taking responsibility for our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions and aligning them with our highest values and truths. It's not about beating ourselves up. Beating myself up would not be conducive to health, healing, and wholeness. But taking responsibility in the now, knowing that regardless of the dis-ease I'm experiencing, I can create a consciousness of joy. I can abide in gratitude. I can celebrate the health that I do have right now. The fact that I'm not in a hospital bed, the fact that I'm here with you. I create my reality from this point forward. How will I experience this dis-ease? Whether I live or die, I'm at peace and I'm grateful for life at this very moment. My beloveds, life is beautiful no matter what. That is inner spiritual sovereignty. Choosing regardless, choosing the good regardless of our circumstances. So the founding fathers, I believe, and Spirit has given me this download, were catalysts for transformation. So there was a rebellion against monarchy. The founding fathers revolted against monarchy. This represents a spiritual, significant act of defiance against oppressive forces that sought to limit human potential and freedom. What do you mean a human being cannot prosper? What do you mean that human beings have to remain poor and remain as servants and slaves to other human beings? Now, if someone chooses to serve as a spiritual gift and choice, that is a different thing. But to say that all humanity had to live in serfdom and slavery is evil, is a negative, is oppression. Each and every human being born on this planet has divine sovereignty because they are a child of the Most High. This is the tipping point. And the founding fathers were the first to revolt in such a way and declare in the universe that we all have a right to be free. It was the tipping point, and it was the top of the pyramid that descended down throughout the pyramid and has influenced all of humanity. What a beautiful event in consciousness, in the mind of God through us. So they had a vision. They had a vision that aligned with spiritual principle that emphasizes the divine nature of every individual and the universal right to freedom. They also created a new paradigm. By establishing a democratic republic, the founding fathers set the stage for a new societal paradigm based on liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. Toussaint Louverture, my revolutionary founding father of Haiti, read from the Enlightenment. He read the Declaration of Independence. He read the rights of man. He studied what the great men of the Enlightenment were teaching. And he said, we Haitians have a right to be free. And so Haiti in 1804 was the second country in the Western Hemisphere after the United States to create a revolution and declare freedom. Illiterate slaves fought the British, the French, and the Spaniards for 10 years in order to be free. So the founding fathers created that tipping point that set a revolution aflame in all of the minds of humanity, in our collective unconsciousness. So they created a new paradigm. This mirrors the spiritual path of creating a life aligned with a higher purpose, where we manifest a reality that reflects our inner divinity. This is our responsibility, my beloveds, to create a life that reflects our inner divinity, a great life, whether we are Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, we all have this right. Each and every one of us has a great life within us at any moment, regardless of our past. We at this moment can create a great life through aligning with our higher consciousness. So, how do we embody these principles? How are they applicable in our daily life? We must embrace divine ideas. Divine ideas are the pure thoughts and inspirations that come from our higher self and the divine. These ideas are aligned with truth, love, and wisdom. By attuning to these divine ideas through meditation, affirmative prayer, positive thinking and action, and emotions, we can navigate life with clarity and purpose, making choices that resonate with our highest good. The power of positive thinking. Power, Positive thinking is more than just a mindset. It is a powerful spiritual practice. By focusing on positive thoughts, we elevate our vibration and attract positive outcomes. The founding fathers embodied this principle by envisioning a free and just society, despite the challenges and obstacles they faced. The founding fathers were slave owners. They were men of their time and place, and yet they were still a channel for God's good. And over time, through the power of God working in our collective unconsciousness, slavery would be dismantled. But the idea declared in the Declaration of Independence had to be made manifest through the tipping point, and the founding fathers were the tipping point for all humanity. So although that hurts me, a woman of color, I'm also seeing and thinking with my third eye and seeing this experience, this circumstance with my divine eyes. So I know that God was working through these founding fathers, no matter what, for the good of the world. Transforming reality. Our thoughts create our reality. By consciously choosing thoughts that align with divine ideas and positive thinking, we can transform our personal lives and the world around us. As we think higher thoughts, as I embody the thought that cancer treatment can be revolutionized, the thought that cancer can be healed and gone into remission through consciousness and natural healing. This is a tipping point as we embody these high vibrational thoughts, my beloveds. This community, unity in the city, becomes a tipping point for conscious change in the mind of humanity. We become a vortex. We become the new paradigm, my beloveds. So, in John, verse 8, it says, when you will know the truth will set you free. This is what we are imbibing and embodying the higher truths of God. So we practice daily meditation and reflection. We release limiting beliefs and thoughts. We live authentically. We embody divine sovereignty, my beloveds. we serve others, and we cultivate positive thinking as a spiritual practice. This is what we do with our spiritual liberation and the liberation that we were given through all of the revolutions that occurred in the 17th and 18th century on this planet. The 4th of July is more than a celebration of national freedom. It is an invitation to explore and embrace our spiritual freedom. As we reflect on this day and during this weekend, let us commit to awakening to our true nature, to living authentically, and not only to our spiritual journey, but also contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. This is the legacy of the founding fathers who embodied and downloaded spiritual principles and ideas that have changed the world for the better forever. My beloveds, during this election season, let's know that God is our president. God is our Senate and our Congress, and that all is well, no matter what happens on the planet. We are seeing with spiritual eyes. We are open. We have an open third eye and crown chakra. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. That is liberation. That is freedom. That is the truth of the 4th of July. And so it is, beloveds. Amen.